All right, gentlemen, I think we are live. Welcome to Distasteful Departure, episode 12.
I don't know. Pretty sure we're up in the 400s by now.
Should probably fucking look that up someday.
Pull that up, young Jamie. Okay, I gotta not look at my phone.
Well, do we have notes or anything for
unless I
chatting?
left it in this other app. Let me look really quick.
Fuck, I'm gonna stop this recording. Maybe we should start it over again and get ready.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Take two.
Fuck it. It's more raw this way.
yeah, fuck it, dude.
We're all
Joe's
butthole.
I didn't make any notes, or I deleted them. So,
No, Cancer Corner with Paco. That's a good starting
We'll start
place.
with the old.
Oh, I got a lot going on there actually.
Cancer.
It's all bad news. We got a whole bunch of bad news this week. Just today, or yesterday, I learned I got really sick all week. I was bad sick all week, and you can still hear it in my voice, I'm sure. Ended up getting a CT scan a couple days ago. Showed some pretty significant advancement of the disease. No reprieve or nothing we would hope to see from the immunotherapy. It's not getting smaller or staying the same. It's getting bigger. Combining that with how much pain I'm in, the doctors are pretty confident the immunotherapy is not working. So looks like we're going to move on to chemo again, which is going to suck.
Is it chemo with radiation?
No, just chemo.
Just chemo.
I don't need radiation.
The radiation is the part that's painful, right?
They both are. Radiation
Chemo makes you sick.
is painful to specific parts, like wherever they're
Where
radiating.
it's like I remember the sunburn thing last time.
Yeah, like when they
You
did my
explained-
throat, when they did my esophagus, it was really bad. But because there's no nerves like that in my eye, when they did my eye, it wasn't that bad. Of course,
Gotcha.
It didn't work on my eye, but on top of that, in order to get a prosthetic, it looks like it's going to cost me $1,500 out of pocket.
Oh, insurance isn't covering it?
That's what they're telling me.
I'll whittle you one. You should pick the wood.
So I got to call the insurance company and deal with that and see what it takes to get a prosthetic eye paid for.
Fuck, that'd be a decent GoFundMe, though. We could pull $1,500 together to get a prosthetic eye.
Yeah.
I got a wheelchair because it hurts to walk.
You have a wheelchair?
Oh.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I got a wheelchair the other day.
Lucky.
So now you guys have to wheel me around when we go hang out.
Fuck, man,
is
that's
it a-
not the update I wanted
Is
to
it
hear. dude.
like a quickie, like the hot rod ones, or is it like a hospital one?
It's like a hospital.
We're gonna build you a silver bullet. remember that movie with Corey Haim and what's his name? Gary Busey built him that fucking like hot rod motorcycle wheelchair.
I don't think I've fucking seen that.
It was a werewolf movie, dude.
Yeah.
It was
Really?
a Stephen King movie.
Yeah.
It was great.
Huh.
Yeah, it's a good 80s movie, dude.
That's right. I want that silver bullet. I want you guys to build me one for sure.
I gotta get Gary Busey on the phone.
On top of that, I mean, I'm in pain all the time. I feel like shit. I've added weed to the regimen. They changed my painkillers from Percocet and Xtampza to fentanyl and morphine.
What is Xtampza?
It's OxyContin.
Oh,
They're gonna fucking have you start growing poppy plants at your house, dude.
I'm on pills the rest of my life. We've all accepted that.
Is there an idea of when you start chemo yet?
Next week, probably. They called me today and talked about it.
Where's the majority of your pain coming from?
My left lower quadrant of my abdomen. Right here. It's super
What's
painful all
What's
the time.
there? Is that front or it's the abdomen? So it's the front side.
Yeah, intestines and left lower quadrants, intestines. It's just some other,
Got
bowel.
a kidney in there somewhere.
There's a kidney in the back flank. That I have
Gallbladder.
pain. One of the,
Did you liver on your left side too?
yeah, it's upper though, I think. Or is it right? No, it's right. Upper right. What was I saying? I'm having memory farts all the time now too.
you said
Where the pain's coming from?
he asked where the pain was coming from.
Yeah, the left lower quadrant mostly, and then
And then you were talking about your pain.
I get it in the back. I get pain, referred back pain, so I just get random back pain all the time.
Is that from tumor growth or is that from? Yeah.
That's what we think is from tumor growth.
Did they do a scan to see what the size of the growths and stuff are? Or?
Well, I was supposed to get a colonoscopy today, but they canceled it because
Hey.
I was so sick.
We can give you one.
Well, I'll finger your butthole right now.
So they were going to see what was going on.
We're gonna strap one of these cameras
Strap one on.
onto one of those
That's a pretty
plumbing
fucking white
snakes.
camera. He's gonna fit that shit up his ass. That'll probably.
That one's like kind of tubular. We can put that one in long ways.
That'll work. That one will work. But yeah, that's the.
So has any of that changed your diagnosis for like?
Well, yeah. If the treatments don't work, I die faster.
Yeah.
That's
Whoa.
What the fuck was that?
that was the.
Joe's watching
What
space
the
porn.
fuck was that, dude?
That was kind of creepy, wasn't
I'm
it?
talking about death.
I know you're not even dead yet. that was fucking.
Joe, are you sound effects
I
board
hope.
over there?
I really hope the podcast picked that up. Like I hope if we play this back.
I'm pretty fucking sure it did.
I heard it on my side.
What the fuck?
it wasn't
was
you.
it?
No.
Huh?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that was. That was
Well,
really
that
weird.
was.
I am getting a terrible
Damn.
repeat
dude.
back.
We need
You're
to
a
be
terrible
having
repeat.
we need to be
How about
having a
now?
Ouija board episode.
That fix it for you, Joe?
I watched that
I'm sure it did.
Ouija.
Every time.
beginning.
No.
yeah, dude, that's
pretty
good. It's good. It's better than the
This
first one.
speech jammer.
That was something from the other side, man.
Yeah, man, that was fucking weird.
All right, so that's I guess that was the devil baby telling me it's time to shut up about my cancer.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking here. We should actually go over there and sledgehammer the shit out of that devil baby.
Yeah, no shit.
Like we've been talking about it for a little while, but
We should move it to somebody that we hate's house.
I'm down to just break it. Do you think the owner of the property would be pissed if we smashed that fucking devil baby statue?
Yes, I think she would.
Really?
She's a Satanist, dude.
She likes that statue.
She likes fertility.
I love that statue. We don't say bad things about the statue. It's an amazing statue. We don't talk about her.
going.
Stop talking about it. Joe, what's new with you down in Denver, man?
Oh, not a whole lot. I took a job interview today, which is
There?
what's that?
There? In Denver?
Yeah. So the company I work for now, there's a lot of good things about it, but there's a couple bad things about it. Kind of feels weird talking about it since I'm at my office right now. But I mean, nobody else is here. It's 7:30 here. But the negatives are just enough that makes me go, this is probably not the best long-term place for me here, you know? So my brother-in-law called me and said, hey, I know a place that's looking for an ops manager. It would be one position lower than what I have now. There would be there's the owner and general manager of this other company, and I would be the person below them. And then I would have 5 department heads below me. Probably pays, from what I'm gauging, about 30% better. Significant. And maybe benefits and stuff like that I don't have now. Like, there's no healthcare benefits or anything here.
Yeah.
Damn.
Which is pretty important, you know. You figure for me to get healthcare right now, it's about $600 a month. And the shit thing is that since I'm not an Oregon resident, or I'm not a Colorado resident, I have to get healthcare through Oregon. And if I get healthcare through
You're an
Oregon,
illegal immigrant in
I can't
Colorado.
use it here without paying 100% out of pocket.
Wow.
Fuck.
It's because I'm still an Oregon resident. So I haven't declared residency here.
May as well just move back. Sounds like a good
I
idea.
need you. Okay, dude, all you gotta do is just go walk outside right now and say, I declare residency.
Michael Scott style.
Yeah. I declare bankruptcy.
So, the thing is I've been a little unsure if I'm going to end up moving, you know, somewhere else altogether, and so I didn't want to change my driver's license and all that fun stuff. Plus, the house I live at, I don't get mail there, and I don't really want to. So, putting that on a driver's license or whatever is just more of a pain in the ass. And the driver's license stuff around here is just, it's not you can't just turn in your old one and they hand you a new one.
You gotta go
There's
through
a
the whole
good
bullshit.
chance I'll have to take. What's that?
You gotta go through the whole bullshit, like the first time
think
you
I gotta
get a
take
license in Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I got to take a driving test, and then, you know, prove residency in the U.S. and all that stuff too. So I don't know. I've just been kind of delaying it. There's no big advantage to it for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just about it.
Are you a legal resident of the U.S. though?
What's that?
Are you a legal resident of the U.S. though? Is that what's really happening?
Barely. I got Oregon ID back in the Obama days when you could just walk in there and they give you that and a welfare check. So I'm serious. This is what really happened. So they made a law in Oregon where if you haven't showed them your birth certificate, by the time you renew, if they don't already have it on record, you have to show it to them
For the DMV?
And so
yeah,
through the DMV. This was probably like 10 years ago now.
Yeah, I had
Obama
to do
days.
that. Yeah.
So I had shown it to him once, and then I got my license suspended, and they're like, you got to show it to us again. And I'm like, are you serious? Your law literally says once it's on record, I don't have to. And they're like, oh yeah, because of this and this and that. And I brought it in, and it's kind of tore up. Just, being 30 some years old, and it's all folded up in my wallet or wherever it's been over the years. And it's like
birth certificate in your wallet.
Fucking weird. I don't know where white people keep stuff like that, but mine was in my wallet. So, for a long time, and so was my Social Security card. I didn't think anything of it, but so it comes apart, and wherever the creases were, basically like wore through the paper, so it showed up like a Dead Sea Scroll, and they're like, "We can't accept this." I'm like, "Okay, well." I told him, I was like, I haven't had a driver's license in like 5 years, and to get one, I need to have it by like the end of this week for work. It was like to send off for one from the state of Ohio. That's where I was born. I was like, it's going to take weeks. And I was like, is there any way you guys can accept this? I've had it on record. I've had a driver's license before. And she's all, okay. That was the whole battle.
What the fuck?
It's like, okay.
Was she brown? And she like winked at you?
Maybe she had a little jungle fever or something. But yeah, so that was how hard it was to get through the DMV.
Yeah, I didn't have it that easy. It's fucking. I bet it's because I'm white, dude. They discriminated against me hard because I'm white. No, I had to get my.
We got to prove that we're not racist. We got to discriminate against the whites.
I had to get my birth certificate from Texas 2 times because I got it when I first moved here. Had it bought it, paid for it, had it mailed up. It was a pain in the ass to get. Went and got my license, and then I got my license suspended and got in all that trouble. Lost it. Had to do it again, and they failed delivery like 3 times because you have to sign for it. And I kept telling them I'm not at my house before this time. And the last time I ended up like chasing the UPS driver down the street. Hey, like give me my goddamn birth certificate. So yeah, I don't even know where it is now. Hopefully Holly does. It'd be fucked up if I had to use that fucker again.
Be helpful if it was in your wallet, wouldn't it?
I guess it would.
You guys playing any new games?
Dude, I have been on a Soulsborne replay marathon for like a month. So I played all the way through Bloodborne again, start to finish, did all the DLC. Then I went to Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin, played through all of the main game, killed every boss, started a DLC, and then was so burnt out on that fucking game that I quit playing it. And now I'm playing Dark Souls 3, and I'm like, I don't know, third of the way through it.
Welcome to me.
Yeah. But the plan was to time this for the Dark Souls 1 remaster that comes out end of May, but I'm going to be done early. So
is that what the new Dark Souls that's coming out is? It's just a remaster of 1?
It's the first
I thought it was a
Souls
whole new
remaster.
Dark Souls game.
No.
When they remaster it, what do they do?
They'll
graphics.
they'll update it to update all the textures to more modern, current generation graphics. They'll up the frame rate, and they usually
Same game though.
Same game, that they'll generally fix some things that they didn't like about the original one. Maybe tweak the way a boss works, or change the drop rate on something, or something like that. But they did it. They did it to Dark Souls 2, and Dark Souls 2 was a garbage game when it came out, and when they redid it, it's really good now. It's a much better game than it was originally. And Dark Souls 1 is the best Dark Souls game, so it'll be interesting to see what.
I downloaded Bloodborne because it was free and it's on my PC, and I haven't fired it up once. I let it do the 40 fucking gigabyte download, put it on there, and I've been so stuck on fucking Fortnite when I have free time. That's all I do.
It's one of those games, man, that's like you will beat your head against the wall for 3 hours trying to figure out how to not get murdered. And then once you get it, something like clicks and you get it, then it's like the most rewarding game experience I've had since I was a kid.
So last weekend, I think it was last weekend, I had Andrea over and Ava, and we were taking turns playing Fortnite. And my 11-year-old daughter won a fucking match against 100 goddamn people.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, fucking just hides in a bush, man, all the way to the end, and this guy jumps off his little tower to come find her, and he walks right up to her bush, and she just pops up, boom, boom, with the shotgun. He's fucking dead. She wins the match. And
so she had one kill the entire game?
Yeah, one kill, and it was the last guy. Yeah,
dude, that's fucking awesome.
So on top of that, we've been playing for like, I don't know, 20 matches, just taking turns. And Andrew, like, it's the first time she's ever played, and she's making it to like the top 10 regularly, just hiding, fucking sneaking around hiding.
Yeah.
And so this animosity and anxiety had built up to when Ava won that match. We like jumped up and like, hooray, like yelling, screaming out loud because it was so fucking amazing that she just won this. And I was like, I wish we could take a picture and send it to the guy who lost and be like, 11-year-old girl just beat you.
Yeah. That's a hell of a gaming experience. I want to get into Fortnite, but I suck at building.
I don't do very good at the building either.
Well,
can you give me the 10-second description of what Fortnite is?
100 people drop into a map. Last one alive wins. Yeah. You can build on a primitive level like walls, stairs, roof.
Tiny little shelters.
You drop with nothing, and you have to pick up guns.
Currency to build, or you just free build?
You like mine. You like knock a tree down and you get wood, or you knock a building down.
You
and
gather
get
resources that you then use to build, but at the same time, you're trying not to get killed. And the entire game, the map is shrinking.
Yeah, so it shrinks you to a small area, smaller area, smaller area.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's on a timer, so it doesn't matter if there's 100 people at the beginning. Within 5 minutes, you're usually down to like 60 people, or less.
What's the console that it's on?
It's on all of them.
It's on multiple platforms. Yeah,
computer, Xbox.
Yeah, you know, PUBG. You can play on your phone.
Yeah, the first match that I tried, dude, the guys that I work with are almost every match they're winning, and I can't get the fucking controls down for shit on a phone.
PUBG?
Yeah.
Wow.
Ben, this guy I work with, the first 2 matches he ever played on the phone version, he won both of them.
The fuck?
And I'm like,
I haven't even tried it, but I just looked at it and was like, on your phone, and I went, nah, dude, I'm not gonna enjoy that.
There's no way you can play PUBG on your phone.
No.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude, it makes me want to play.
Here it is right
Fortnite.
here, PUBG Mobile.
I'll have to get on and play Fortnite with you.
10-cent games.
I'll be damned, huh?
Yeah,
I gotta get a beer.
Yeah, so Fortnite is where I've been. If I do have time to game, I've been doing that. I actually haven't fired it up for the last like 3 days, but work's been too fucking busy. What have you been playing? I haven't seen you streaming Warframe much
I haven't been able
lately.
to play much. My eyes have been bugging me.
Yeah.
The world is blurry right now through my good eye.
Oh, word.
So I've been struggling gaming lately, so I haven't had a lot of time for it. Like I just haven't gamed a lot in the last few days.
Yeah.
But I hop on Warframe and
I wonder how it'd be with your like Switch kind of up close versus
That'd be all right.
TV.
Yeah.
Maybe a little easier on your eye.
I don't know. It's been a rough week for me. So
Yeah. I'm really sorry, man. That's not good prognosis to start with,
no,
but
that's bad.
I mean, light at the end of the tunnel with chemo coming. Like maybe that's a turning point, you know.
I hate chemo, but maybe it'll help.
Yeah, you'll be sick for a while, I'm sure, and that's no fun.
Yeah, well, I'm
Looking
heading to New York in May 1st.
You go? Oh yeah, that's right. You're going with your dad.
Yeah, that's why. Like I said, we got the wheelchair because I can't walk that much.
Yeah, there's no way you could fucking walk around New York.
Do you just tire fast, or is
No, it's
it like
painful.
hurt?
It's actually painful to walk. Like every time I take a step with my left leg, it hurts.
Muscle or joint?
My abdomen, where my cancer is.
Oh.
It's just bad growth of the interstitial area. Cancers in the empty spaces in my
Grab a
stomach.
rat in the pussy.
But I want to be back to playing Warframe again more often, you know.
I enjoy it every time I see you pop up as on. I'll try to jump on and watch the stream for a little bit.
Like, Fortnite's fun, but I'm just not good at it. And I never got into it.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't.
Oh, that's a
So
fucking
I
time
haven't
sink,
like,
dude.
I haven't felt like committing the time to get good at it.
I played it,
Especially
in PUBG.
multiplayer games like with Dax. It's so fucking hard to,
You got to drop what you're doing.
because constantly
Yeah.
that happens. And with the Souls games, it fucking sucks too, because you die quickly in those games if you fuck up at all. And when you die, you lose like everything, and so you have to go back to where you died again to get all your shit back. And sometimes that can be a big pain in the ass. And yeah, there's been times where he's just been like, it's weird how it works too. He will just be being an angel. He's perfect. And then I'm like looking at him, and I'm like, all right, you're good, dude. I'm going to start this boss fight. And then I'll walk into the boss room, and all of a sudden he's all, I'm like, God,
What
dude, what do I do?
Have you seen the Dark Souls bosses? He looks at the TV screen and sees a giant fucking werewolf.
Yeah, dude.
Of course, your baby freaks out. He sees Oz, but with fucking rabies.
Fucking cause and effect going on there.
yeah, chicken or the egg. Kind
Scaring the shit out of your own child there. And then you're like, why are you being so difficult?
toughening him up.
So we were talking recently about going to see a comedy show up in Portland via our group text message. Those Bill Burr tickets were retarded
Holy
fucking
shit.
expensive.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Isn't that crazy?
That's like Kevin Hart prices.
Well, Kevin Hart's going to be up there sometime soon too, and I'm like, I know that Kevin Hart is like the highest show cost wise to book. So I was like, fuck, if Bill Burr's $250, Kevin Hart's got to be $500 or $600.
Where is Bill Burr going to be?
It's
That's
like
in the
Plainfield
Moda
something.
Center, I think.
No,
he is in the
When
Moda
I
Center.
looked it up, it's not in the Moda Center.
No?
No, it's here. I'll pull it up again real quick. It's like the Plainfield something.
Because like when we went and saw Louis C.K., those tickets were only like $60 or something like that.
What?
For Louis C.K.?
Yeah.
Fuck. That
Oh,
was
wait,
The
was
Moda
that
Center.
pre?
Oh, it's the Keller Auditorium.
That was
Weinstein
pre. Yeah.
post?
Yeah. That was pre jerky offy.
You guys listen to Joe Rogan podcast
Yeah.
regularly?
I was actually just
He had-
listening to
he
the
had
Legion
somebody-
of Skinks episode today.
Oh, that was
He had
fucking
somebody
funny.
on there the other day that was like talking about when he had him on there with God, it was two people on there. I can't remember who the other person was now.
It's Joey Diaz and
Or you're talking about the one
It
with
was
the guy who
Owen
records his-
Benjamin and
Owen Benjamin.
Greg, not Greg Fitzsimmons.
Yeah.
No. It's
Greg
the
Burrell,
dude,
right?
Kurt Metzger,
Oh yeah.
because Kurt Metzger was
talking
like
about
coked out on that episode.
Kurt Metzger is like, let's think about this. He asked people, which is what you want for consent. The ones that consented, he did it. The ones that didn't, he didn't. What else can you ask for? He's like, really? That's what we're crucifying him over? And I was like, I guess I never thought of it that way.
You're talking about
I'm not
just
saying what he
jerking off
did
in
is
front of
okay,
people?
but it's a bigger thing to think about than just he pulled out his thingy and started whacking it, you know?
You can always walk away. Like it's not like he's grabbing you. Like
Yeah,
here,
his-
hold this for me.
His the timing of that was unfortunate, and well,
Yeah, his was the.
I don't think that
his
it
was
even
the
would have
light
come
version
out.
of-
I don't think that it even would have come out if it wasn't for like that. If it wasn't for the whole Weinstein thing,
Right.
because that's been like talked about for a long time. And like back in the Opie and Anthony days, Louis C.K. made a ton of jokes about doing that. Like
Yeah,
he would pretty
I
much
remember
admit
hearing
that
that being
he
talked
did
about.
that. Yeah. So I don't know, man. He'll be back next year. He'll be doing a comedy special that the first joke will be about him jerking off.
It has to be, right?
Yeah, it has to be
But-
for sure.
Louis C.K. 2018 with opener Bill Cosby.
It's like, yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like Bill Cosby's come back, his first joke would have to be like,
Bill Cosby's
"Cheers to
doing
rape,"
stand-up.
right? I know, right? No, he's doing like jazz shows or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, Louis C.K. would never do a show with him because all the Quaaludes get passed out, people fall asleep, and he wants the reaction back while he's
Yeah,
jerking off in
exactly.
front of you.
Wake up and watch me.
So
How
we still
disrespect-
should go see a comedy show. Maybe I'm not going to pay fucking $245 to go
We
see Bill
should
Burr.
we should
but
set up our
budget
own
on
comedy
it?
show and hire all these comics that are
I mean, I'd
accused of
spend
molesting.
$100.
I could
Have
spend
it-
$100.
Have it, dude. We should just literally host our own comedy show with Cosby and Aziz and Louis C.K. All these comics that are
That
going
nobody else will
that
take.
nobody wants because they're getting molested charges. We could make a fucking festival,
It's true. We could call it the
the Rapey Comedy Festival,
The repeat
Fest.
comedy
Yeah.
molest fest.
Molest Fest.
I want to go to Penny Arcade or the PAX West this year.
Dude,
at
that'd be
least
the
even
shit.
if it's for
When
one
is
day.
it? When is it?
I think it usually lands in August, like middle of August.
When does tickets go on sale?
Like right about now, or April maybe, I think.
Which one are you talking about, James?
The PAX West Penny Arcade Expo. It's like the Comic-Con of Seattle, essentially, but like video games, comic books, tabletop games.
April 5th.
For West?
Would you?
Well,
when the sale begins.
Would you guys do a Seattle trip?
That's got to not be.
Okay. September 1st through 4th. No, that's 2017.
Yeah, they haven't put the new schedule out yet.
Here it is. No, that's 2017 too.
Yeah, they haven't put the new schedule for PAX Prime yet, but it should be like tickets go on sale, I want to say at the beginning of spring, and they sell out within an hour.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get the 4-day pass. It's like $500. But even just to get 1 or 2 days, go fuck around in Seattle, dedicate 1 full day to go into the expo. I think it would be so much fun.
I mean, the Facebook page says August 31st to September 4th.
There you go.
Hey James,
But
where's Drew working at?
I don't know. He was working for Valkyrie Entertainment, I think.
He could probably get you free tickets.
I don't know. If they're I mean, they'll have a fucking booth, I would imagine.
Well, dude, whenever we went to trade shows and stuff, we had, our 8 people that got in and 8 more tickets that nothing to do with that so many times just sit to the side. And those tickets are worth, between $200 and $800 depending on the event you're at.
I don't know how this one works
specifically. Or he might know somebody that's selling some or something,
Usually I see them on Craigslist because I never get them in time to buy them, like, online. But Craigslist, you can get them for $100 a day for the day passes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
But,
that's a little more reasonable.
The thing where Drew works, I think, is there's like 200 employees, and they'll probably bring 8 for their booth, maybe 10, something like that. And so, with 200 fucking people working there, I bet it's hard for him to get passes to give out to people.
So, a couple comedy shows that are coming up in Seattle. Hannibal Buress, $55.
Where is he?
Oh, that's April 11th. Jay and Silent Bob, April 20th. Jay and Silent Bob Get Old. I don't know. That sounds kind of fun.
They're doing like a worldwide tour with that because they were doing like Australia shows just recently.
I just saw a picture of him on Insta because he just had a massive heart attack like 3 weeks ago.
Kevin Smith did?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh fuck! I didn't know that.
He's already down 25 pounds since then. Like
Good for him.
Dude, he lost a bunch of weight already too because remember when he got kicked off that airplane for being too fat?
Right, but then he actually gained quite a bit of that back, and he was posting. So when he had the heart attack, he was recording a comedy special at this. I don't even remember where it was, but the way they usually do it is they'll record like 2 shows in one night, and then they'll take the better jokes from those 2 shows, better reactions, whatever, better flow, and splice them together to make the comedy special. And he had recorded the first hour or whatever that he was doing. And then he was taking a break and then doing the second. And during the break, he started getting like chest pains and weird arm shit and wasn't going to go to the hospital. Decided last minute to go to the hospital. And the doctor was like, if you hadn't come and you would have ignored it and went back on stage, you'd be dead. Right?
Fuck.
Like it was 100% blockage in one of his arteries or whatever.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's overweight and everything, but I assume Jason Mewes would fucking die before him. All the drugs and shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, not to switch subjects on you here before I forget, Kevin Hart in Seattle, $85, June 14th.
In Seattle?
How the fuck does Bill Burr get $300 a ticket when Kevin
Bill
Hart's
Burr,
fucking 85?
Bill Burr, July 15th, $75 in Seattle.
See, I'll bet it's because Bill Burr's at the Keller Auditorium and it's limited seating, so it's probably a very small show. And that's why tickets are so much more, because it's like an intimate setting or something. I don't know what the Keller Auditorium looks like.
Nick Swartzen, May 6th, $65. That would be a cool show.
Dude, he's funny.
You ready for this? The most expensive one, it's $100. Take a guess. It's $100. I'll say they've been a comedian that
Chris Rock.
They haven't been popular in probably 10 years.
Sinbad.
Dane Cook.
Oh,
$100.
That guy still alive?
What is Dane Cook doing comedy? Firstly, he's not funny.
I don't even
Number
think his comedy shows were that great. He had one okay special that I liked.
He had before he got or maybe it was like right when he got popular when I heard of him, but he had 2 albums out, and I lived behind the sheriff's station with Holly, Freddie, and Megan, and it was like a Saturday or Sunday, and I downloaded those albums and we put them on, and just like we were drinking and like smoked some pot and listened to them, and I laughed
Froze up.
Really?
so fucking hard then. And then I still have like, there's certain jokes on those albums that are still, I think, are fucking hilarious. Like the one about getting head in the car still makes me laugh. But after that, he put, I think it was called Vicious Circle or something
There was
like that.
Full Circle and Vicious, right?
I hated it. After the first two that I had heard, I hated everything that he put out after that. Because he kind of went like way over the top with his the
yelly
loudness.
Yeah, here's what it was. It was in 2006. It was Vicious Circle.
Yeah, so it was the one before that one.
I think Dan Cook is basically one of those inflatable tube men come to life.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a little too showy.
The best thing he's ever
I
done
remember
is
when his comedy was big, like when he was popular, I thought he was funny. But now I hear it and I'm like, God,
Yeah.
this is terrible.
No, it's not something that I want to go back and listen to for sure.
Kid Craddock used to bust his balls all the time and be like, not funny, but JC loved him. Do you guys ever listen to Kid Craddock back then?
I used to love that. So
then they had Dane Cook on the show.
Oh, right. Harmful If Swallowed is the one that made me laugh my fucking ass off back then.
Yeah, I liked him in Waiting. I thought he was funny as fuck.
He was funny in that, yeah.
But his stand-up, there was just one I remember watching. It was, I don't know if it was on Netflix or YouTube because it was a long time ago. But I watched 20 minutes of it and like maybe chuckled a couple times, but nothing like. Well, I don't know. Most stand-up you watch, there's like a couple stories or something they tell that you're just like, this is fucking amazing. Didn't have none of that.
One of the ones that made, like, it was so stupid, but it made me laugh really hard, was his impression of driving through a parking garage.
Dude, I was just gonna say that. That's my favorite thing. He's like, I'm going 5. He's
it's all.
I'm backing up.
And then the whole BK Lounge shit with the
yeah, that one is pretty funny.
The drive-through speaker, like
he thought he was the Burger King. He's talking about his brother.
Yeah.
That is funny. Actually, yeah, that guy gets a little more.
I don't know. Yeah. Now I'm thinking of more that was like in those first two that are actually funny. The BK Lounge
sweet
shit.
sour sauce on my pussy.
Yeah. And then it's like, what was that? You can't understand anything he's fucking saying. Oh, that's good shit. That's good
My
shit.
dog's pissed. I'm not paying attention to her. She's trying to chew on me.
What's the dog's name again?
Sunny.
Sunny. You're letting me pet you.
You guys mind if I bring up a topic?
Let's do it. Topic me.
We kind of loosely talked about this via text the other day. The Facebook exit.
Oh, yeah.
Mass exodus.
Yeah, what's going on with that? Why is everybody leaving Facebook? Somebody catch me up on the news.
Well, go ahead, Joe.
It started because it was called like Oceana Analytica, something like that.
Britannia.
Yeah.
Britannia Analytica. Yeah, so they put a survey on Facebook, and they made people just like one of those see what kind of dog you would be type, surveys. It was something stupid, but when you do those surveys, whoever responds to it, you get their, like, I think it's metadata. I think it's what that's called.
Oh, yeah, you allow them
get
to
all
access your profile.
Yeah, it's a profile, and they get pretty close. You can look up your own, but it pegged me as 28 to 34-year-old male, my hobbies, my political views, stuff like that, and it was fairly accurate, but it kept giving me weird ads and shit, and that's what made me look at it. It kept giving me ads for like tampons and shit like that. And
You're a pussy.
I'm like, well, that's unusual. So I went in there, and at one time, I liked something that was like a women's rights page or something, and so somehow that triggered it. But anyway,
I know you're lying,
Joe. I know.
you could delete your profile as far as like the information saved. But I'm telling you, it took me an hour of just clicking delete because they're each individual things. But anyway, so they took that data from people and used it to create advertisements that were pro-Trump. So I listened to this guy that was like their head logistics guy or something the other day. He was on like an NPR radio, and he's like, here's what it comes down to. He goes, that data is 6 times more likely to be ineffective than effective. And he's like, once I realized that, he's like, I wasn't really bought into the whole idea. He goes, it's just not strong enough data to really do anything. He said what it most likely did was advertise to already pro-Trump supporters. But people started feeling real uncomfortable about that. That's my understanding.
That's one very small piece of the Cambridge Analytica.
That's a piece of the puzzle.
Because basically what happened is they've been mining data from Facebook users for the better part of a year and a half. And it's everything. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's your friends lists, your photos, your interests, the pages you like. Facebook already keeps data on web traffic, so they'll read cookies and shit that are in your computer to try to form ads on their page and shit to you.
Yeah, that's the creepy.
Well, Cambridge Analytica was taking all that data, and the question was, did Facebook know about it? Because they never acknowledged it. Well, now what's came out is they knew a year and a half ago and never did shit, never said anything about it. And once it went public just recently, now they've apologized to people and stopped their relationship with Cambridge Analytica.
And you know who used to run Cambridge Analytica? Steve Bannon.
Yes, so ties to Trump and who ran Cambridge Analytica.
Zuckerberg essentially said, look, yes, we were aware that they're spinning it that they were aware that something happened and that our data was compromised and blah blah blah, but now it's like pretty fucking obvious that not only did they know, but
they were making money,
but they were compliant in it.
So here's the thing I don't understand. He's supposed to go testify to Congress or whatever, or be disposed. I can't remember exactly what's going on with Zuckerberg, but what law was broken? Why would it go to that level?
Well, that's the thing is that
because I think your fucking terms of use,
probably
basically
that's
says
that's the issue. Is the bigger issue is, was it ethical, and did they essentially trick America into agreeing to give that shit away? So
it was essentially like that said, in retrospect, giving Facebook all the information ever known to man about me. In trade for seeing what my friends ate for dinner was not a good deal.
Well, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy if you think about those like games, like fucking Words with Friends. Okay, you can link that to your Facebook, but when you do that, you agree to give Words with Friends access to your Facebook profile,
your friends list, your
right.
So your then ad traits, everything.
Are you reading the toss for Words with Friends? Are you reading all the fine print and seeing who they are then sharing your data with? Because that shit could go down the line to, some cave monster in fucking Afghanistan, could have access to. One of the
places where the information became inaccurate was what you just said is a good example. So let's say that you, me, and Paco were all on Words with Friends. It has access to our phone's contact list so that it could associate like James as being one of our friends and we could invite him, right? Mm-hmm. So if he's on my contact list, he's on your contact list and Dave's contact list, it'll make a profile about James based off of like a guess, right? Because, hey, I like cars, you like cars, he likes cars. And then it'll kind of start assimilating things. And the reason he was saying that it becomes inaccurate is because James doesn't actually have a profile yet. And then it'll try to cross-reference those things with him once he does join to get ads of stuff that the three of us already like that we have in common. So if we haven't liked the same things, he wouldn't see specifically ads from us.
Here's the problem,
it is a little wishy-washy in its accuracy, but
I would disagree with you in that, and I'll tell you why. The data that they are collecting about you from your web browsing history, from your photos that you upload, from the places you tag, the places you go, some of it's analytic data tracking based on your phone GPS. Mm-hmm. You've never liked a place, but they can tell that you frequent this restaurant because you're there all the time. Right. The profile that's built is so immense. I was reading this article yesterday. These three guys that wrote this blog went to Google to request their data files, which you can do to Facebook or Google. You can get a copy of all of the data that they have on you. And he went just to Google. The size of the file is 5.5 gigabytes on him, and it's only text data. It's textual data, and it's 5.5 gigabytes just on him, just that Google had.
Is that the link I sent you? I sent to you guys
it might have been actually the one that you.
So the other part that really, this is why I'm saying I want to make my Facebook exodus. Twofold. One, Surface is, I don't use Facebook anymore. I don't like post anything. I don't share things, and it's almost like it's like taking a piss to open your phone in a moment of boredom, and what's the first icon you click on? Facebook.
Right.
Even though you just may have looked at your feed 20 minutes ago. So you're looking at your feed, and what are you seeing? I know what I'm seeing. I'm seeing like people that I like, family members, whatever, that have decided that they are very extreme in this political view, and they're posting things that is making me not like them. But it's like you would never just talk about this to me. I'm only seeing this because you are treating Facebook as this forum for yourself to spout off all this semi-racist bullshit, you know. So I figure it's cheapening people in general. People are doing things on Facebook that they would never do. My mother, per Facebook, is like a white supremacist, but she is not in real life. I know that's not her, but the things she likes, the people she follows,
it would build that profile
yes,
about her.
Like that.
So it's not so much also what you like; it's what you don't like.
I feel her pain.
So
I just want to say,
if you go through Facebook and they can log that you've reviewed this post, you reviewed this post, you liked this one, but you didn't like those two. They can build a profile saying this was a very political motivated view, and the fact that they didn't like it shows us that they don't share that political view. Yeah. Rather than only building it off of the ones you like.
Isn't that crazy?
Dude, it starts this algorithm that's so big that in the end, the algorithms account for like variances too. And so how accurate they could get down to a profile description of you just based on your Facebook feed, the things that you've liked, the things that you've viewed.
And
let's look at it this way.
Think about how they can use
that
that data to control the populace via media in sections. Yeah. So you have these people who, there's this whole section of people whose brains all essentially work the same way. And so what happens?
Feed it to them this way.
Yeah. So the people who get all this stuff from Facebook, Fox News is probably in that arm where they're like, okay, here's what all these people are really into. This is what Sean Hannity is going to really zero in on for the next 2 weeks, you know?
That's hands down where they're coming up with these are the things we need to put articles out about.
Yes.
Are based on those trending.
And then it goes the same way with all
values.
The fucking...
So there's two things I want to bring up on the other end. Number one, if let's say that you have a 100-point system and 30 things on it are dead accurate, but 70 of them are wrong. Mm-hmm. Is that mostly right or is that mostly wrong?
See, I don't think that's an apples to apples analogy, though.
That's how they describe the data.
But see, I don't think if I had access to your Facebook right now and I could see everything that you looked at, everything you spent more than 30 seconds of time on, either watching or reading, whether you liked it or not.
It out that way.
It does, though. The time that you spend on that shit, it is all algorithmic data that's collected. I mean,
what I'm saying is there's just as much, if not more, inaccurate data as there is accurate. But
the tipping point for me to say I want to delete my Facebook, even though the damage is already done. You know, right. there's no way to undo what's already there. Is knowing that via all of this stuff, and I'm not like a big the government's gonna get us guy, but
if you're gonna be, this is the thing, right?
The fact that the government, you know, FBI, CIA, whatever, have access to data that shows they could figure out what sexual fetish you have.
I know what sexual fetish
what you're really like, any like weird stuff you're into sexually, or like if you're into like My Little Ponies, right? But you're like trying to keep that a secret from everybody. That's in there. You can't hide shit, because if you Google something that you're interested in, what are you going to see ads for on Facebook? You're going to see ads. I see it all the time, and I go, what the fuck? A perfect example is I was asking Paco on the drive over here if he had watched the show Into the Badlands, okay? I actually somehow hadn't heard of that show until like a couple of weeks ago. This guy at work was telling me about it. And I was like, really, that sounds fucking badass. Like, I'm gonna look it up. So I Googled it. I was reading the IMDb page. I saw that there was some actors in it that I like, and like the premise seems really good. That evening on Facebook, I got one of those like, you know, these 3 people like this page, and it like suggests it to you. And it was Into the Badlands, and I went,
Always listening.
Yeah,
"What the
always.
fuck, dude?" Like, and now they're saying that your microphone and your fucking camera is like they have.
You see the guy with the cat food thing? That video that he did.
No.
That him and his girlfriend don't have cats. They've never talked about
Okay, yeah, I
cat
know
food or
what you're talking
anything.
about.
And they literally for the whole day were just like, cat food. We should go get some cat food. And like that morning, they log into Facebook and it's cat food ads on their fucking Facebook. They didn't Google it. They didn't type it in or nothing. They just had their phones around while they were talking about it for the day.
It's so creepy.
So I want to say, I want to break one more point about this. I'm going to delete my Facebook for all the reasons James says. I know it sounds like I'm disagreeing with you, but
No.
I just want to make sure it was a balanced argument, you know?
Yeah.
But typically things like this get to be the best version of them after this like major exposure, right? So now that everyone's exposed, they can't really still use your data that way without being like in the spotlight.
It's going to make them smarter about how they do it, though.
Yeah.
Is there a chance now that, like you said, it either gets more sneaky the way they do it or that they stop doing it?
I don't think stop doing it is an option for them.
No.
There's too much money to be made in it. I mean, that's the part of the argument why people want to delete the Facebook is Facebook has been making money off of selling your data to all these third-party companies.
Yeah. Well,
So the way they get it, though, like, have you ever put ads on Facebook for like work or anything?
I haven't. I mean, I've actually,
when you
with our
put an ad up,
podcast, they try to get you
You
to
can
buy
go
it.
in and you could choose, I want to advertise to male, female, you know, maybe
Trans.
nowadays it might be transgender on there or something like that. But then you could choose where they live. You could go by country, by state, by city. You could also choose things like pages that they've also liked. Mm-hmm. So one that we used to do at Precise Flight all the time is we'd go in and find people that liked aviation-related stuff. Well, we got a bunch of hits out of India. And we got all these likes out of India because there were so many people going to school for engineering that were Indian that were eventually planning on working in the aerospace industry.
That's where all the bots are fucking coming from, too.
Yeah, so it gave us more and more options to narrow it down, and you can get pretty tight with that just based off of what people like. To get the data that we're talking about right now, they had to do that survey thing to be privileged to be able to get it. Mm-hmm. And they had to pay for a full survey, like Facebook sponsored survey type thing. And that's where it got real screwy, but people had figured out that you can get it there. And then that just became the norm, apparently.
Well, apparently I've had my Facebook for around 9 years because
So that showed you and me 9
everyone
years.
that I've known for a long time, I've been getting these like 9 years ago you became friends. Holly and I just got one I got one for Holly and it said 9 years. So I'm like, all right, well, I remember she and I lived together when I made a Facebook. So
I was working at Lance Air when I very first made mine.
So it's been 9 years total that I've been on Facebook. Think about how long you were on MySpace before Facebook. It wasn't fucking 9 years.
I was on MySpace until 2009.
Right, but when
know
did you
that
get on
because-
MySpace, though? Like, I remember getting on MySpace, and it was when I lived here, and I moved here in 2003. So,
I feel like it was in high school because I remember burning CDs for people and shit and updating my MySpace and having music
yeah,
playing
I didn't
and
have
shit.
a MySpace in high
Like
I
school.
think
maybe
MySpace was
2001.
that old, was
I
it?
never had a much.
2000.
In
2001,
high
I
school,
wanna
I had like a GeoCities page or Angel Fire or something.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess, no. Yeah, I had GeoCities pages that we had made. We made that.
MySpace
Whitney
was
is a
founded in
slut.com.
2003, so that was
See?
after high school.
Yeah,
man.
so that's
Oh,
when
so
I
maybe
moved
it's
here.
Lance Ayres when I got my MySpace then, not Facebook. Because Facebook wasn't that
So
old.
No, I remember when people
I
were
got
saying
Facebook.
Facebook's the shit, MySpace is balls, you got to switch over to Facebook.
What's
but-
funny is now everybody's like, man, I wish we had the features that MySpace had back in the day.
I know, man. I wanna
Music
put
on your
my
profile
favorite song
and,
on my page.
the backgrounds that moved and
They
shit.
can blast through your fucking speakers when you go to my page and get annoyed at me for playing
Yes.
some bullshit butt rock song.
I got a Facebook when a buddy of mine went to OSU, and he's told me about it when he came back for like break, and he's like, "Yeah, you have to be enrolled in a college to be able to get to it." So Facebook must have just went college wide, and he's like, "Yeah, just say you go to OSU and you'll have access." And so I went in there and I had one like way before a bunch of people because he had told me about it, and I didn't use it for the longest time because nobody was really on it. you know?
Yeah.
And then I remember MySpace, like, still using that pretty regularly up until 2009. And I met this girl. We were out one night, and then I friended her on MySpace, and I'm looking through her pictures, and she's got a picture of me and her together on Halloween when I was dressed up like Hulk Hogan.
Oh yeah.
I have pictures of
pictures.
I have pictures of that night on my MySpace. Like, I just logged into my MySpace recently, and there's pictures from that night at Ashley, Chandler, and Chris's house, and then there was like a picture of me and Chris and Micah in this shed behind Chris's house smoking weed, all like secret. And somebody, I don't know who the fuck took the picture, but yeah. Anyway, what I was getting at is it's been 9 fucking years that I've had a Facebook.
So 2008 is when I joined Facebook.
And how do you see that?
So you go to your activity log and scroll back to the oldest year.
But
So if you go to your profile real quick, and then click here
Activity
again.
log?
Oops.
Oh, shit.
Hit click here and go to your activity log. It's like where did it's settings and privacy. Scroll down to settings and privacy. Settings. Activity log. And then set the year. And God, yours displays different than mine. Where did I? Settings, privacy, accounts. Oops. Oh, damn it.
There we go.
Sorry. Mine was 2008 though. Sometime in
how the
2008.
fuck do you see this?
Settings and privacy. Activity log. And then see, mine says year and category, and so I sorted by year.
Yeah.
My oldest shit's 2008.
Mine says 2009.
And then the oldest activity I have in
I
2008
wonder if there's like a Facebook update that I didn't download or something.
was all June 30th or June 27th, 2008 was the day I joined Facebook.
Crazy.
All right.
Wait, is that your original Facebook, though? Because I remember my first one I had for like 2 years and then deleted it and started over.
Yeah, I had to do that too.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I don't think
So-
I ever changed mine. Maybe. I stuck around on MySpace for a long time and wouldn't switch to Facebook for a while. And then once most of my friends list wasn't on MySpace anymore, I went over to Facebook. I think it was probably around for a few years before I jumped bandwagon.
I don't know. I don't really remember.
Facebook's
how
saying
long
it's
it
been
had
there
been
since 2004, but I feel like that's way too
Well,
early.
but that's when it was like.
On campus only.
Yeah,
like-
but it started out on like that one campus wherever he went to school.
He went
And
to
then it
Harvard.
was- yeah, and then it was
Yeah.
you had to be in a school. What's your Wi-Fi password?
Which one is that? Hey, do you guys mind if we take a break for a sec? I'm going to stop the recording for a minute so I can go
let's break.
smoke a cigarette.
Yeah.
That's good. All right. Pause. All right, bitches, we're back.
Oh God, it's so cringy to like go back and read shit that you wrote on social media. and, like,
Man, I was just thinking that.
The whole break,
2009,
we're going
2010.
through what we had posted in the past.
That was
when Facebook
always
first
so
started.
cool.
May 23rd, 2010. After following Lost for 6 years, it's over, and I'm still going WTF. Yeah. Ready to get this Friday knocked
there was
out.
one in there from me and Paco. We went and saw.
Wondering why there's a limo at the homeless shelter.
This should be like
We went-
one of the late night people, like Jimmy Fallon or something, should make people read their
Old
social
posts.
media posts from like fucking 10
I'll
years
tell you
ago.
what, in 10 years, we should make this generation go back and read their fucking posts from when they're this
Oh
age.
boy.
Yeah, Bryce.
Oh boy.
That shit would be fun.
Oh boy, he'll want to crawl in under a table.
There was one I saw on here not that long ago of me and Paco went and saw Inception. We
Oh,
walked
yeah?
out and I think like we tagged each other or something. It was like I'm more confused now than when before I saw
Are
it.
you recording now?
Yeah, we're recording.
I was still going over old Facebook stuff.
I know.
Hey
I was
guys, I
looking
got
at
another topic.
What do you got, Joe?
Nobody else has anything.
Let's hit it.
Got a grown-up question for you guys. So I got to buy a new car soon. The little Civic I got is going to my nephew on his birthday, which is July 11th. So
7-11.
basically, what are we? April, 3 months. It's going to him. In the next 3 months, I'm going to make him work on it with me, and not knowing that he's getting it because it needs a couple things here and there. And then he'll put all his blood, sweat, and tears into it, and then on his birthday, we'll give him a shitbox car that he worked on a bunch.
Oh yeah, dude. No, that's badass though.
But I got to buy a new car in the meantime. Plus, the thing's a little rough in the city and it's uncomfortable. I'm a big guy, you know, blah blah blah. So, I'm budget wise, I'm thinking I could find a pretty decent used car for around 15 grand. I need it to be all-wheel drive, comfortable, you know, a mid-sized sedan or a small SUV.
I could see you in a van, for sure.
Yeah, or a
Windowless
van,
van.
no windows.
Yeah.
But here's what it comes down to: a $15,000 car here is $2,250 in taxes.
Come up here and buy a car.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Well, then, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So then, on top of that, a smog check and all that you got to do, and all the registration fees. I'm going to be into it about another $500 or $600. Plus insurance. If the car is registered here, because Denver has the highest accident rate in the country.
Plus the fucking hail damage for insurance.
Yeah, it is through the fucking roof.
Why is it so high in Denver? Is it because you guys are all just driving downhill on a mountain the entire time?
Every fucking car every year gets hit by hail and fucking destroyed.
Oh.
And there's 600 fatalities in the Denver metro area every year.
Just in general, or caused by
Just
cars?
in automotive fatalities.
Oh, okay. 600?
actually
Did you
not
say
that bad.
600,000?
600 a year.
600.
Oh, 600.
I was like, that's not bad
That's
for a
like-
population the size of Denver.
You put that in comparison. They put that up on like these digital billboards and stuff around to like remind people to drive safe. And I think the next closest city, like metro area, is like 310. Like the next closest.
Why is it
Really?
so high? Is it
People
because-
drive like assholes. Nobody's from here. It's like this like huge drive of people coming in from like California, Texas, you know,
that
all
also-
over.
Oh, yeah,
man.
Colorado car crash deaths surpassed 600 in 2017.
That's fucking
Yeah.
ridiculous.
So then you got snow, ice, rain, all this other crazy stuff.
It's the legal pot, man. That's what's doing it.
And yeah, a lot of people drive around high. I mean, that's a thing. So anyways,
Who would do that?
They're so slow.
I'm thinking
That was the second thing on Google when I typed in deaths in Denver per
I
year.
mean, that's to be expected.
Oh shit, we just lost Joe.
Joe's frozen.
hello.
Oh, you're back.
Oh, there you go.
We lost you for a second, Joe.
Oh, there's your beautiful
Man,
face.
Yeah,
Okay,
you were
yeah, I
like,
lost you guys too. So if I fly back to Oregon before I become a Colorado citizen, I can get it tax free. Number one, leave it registered there and not have to pay high insurance. Not have to deal with the like smog checking and all that, but I would never have a Colorado registered car. I don't know if there's any big value to that. Tax write-off or anything for work, maybe? I don't know.
I feel like Oregon's not that bad for registering your car and shit. If you're not a full resident of Colorado, I'd come here, buy a car, register it here, get your fucking insurance here,
Yeah.
and then go back down there.
it just
That's what I'm
depends on. It also depends on if you get pulled over, like a few times. Because when I moved here and I had Texas plates, I got pulled over 2 or 3 times in like a year just for different shit. And by the second and third time, they were like, "All right, man. Well, I see that you were contacted by police at this time, and you still had Texas plates. You're giving me an Oregon address, so you live here. Here's a fix-it ticket. You got this long to register your vehicle."
So what I would
I
do
feel like he could
in
get
that
away
case
with it.
is
because
I would leave an Oregon driver's license,
Yeah.
Oregon registration, and I would just, if I ever did get pulled over, I would just say I work here a few months out of the year.
And I
I
live in
travel all
Oregon.
around,
Yeah.
and I just happen to be here.
I'm visiting my family.
Yeah, I mean, especially just be like the
Me
headquarters for
familiar.
my company's in Denver, but I live in Oregon. That's why I'm here all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Go Broncos!
I think my dog's
So
trying
it's
to get
like,
blowies under
but
the
with that
table.
kind of a tax rate, $2,200, it's like putting an extra $2,250 down because you got to finance that.
Oh, do you finance the taxes? You don't have to. They just tag it to
It's
your loan.
yeah, it's
Pay
a
them right
part
up
of the
front,
total
but-
price, or you could just pay the taxes up front. But when you finance it, even if you have a low interest rate, let's say you're at like a 5% interest rate, now you're financing taxes, so you're paying more.
How
feel
much
like-
do you hate sales tax over there?
Dude, it's crazy. And here's the shitty thing. If you go in Denver metro area is made up of like 10 towns, right? The state has its basic income tax or sales tax of like 3%. Then each county has an additional tax. And then there's a 1% like we're doing something with it, money like pothole recovery or something tax. So all said and done, like Denver is 7.65%. Golden is like 7.5%. Each town you go to is a different tax rate.
So
if you want to go get
like
a, say you went to like get a $1 cheeseburger, right? It's different every town you go to.
So we found that out, like with our service, we ship all over the country. You have to know the municipality of the locale where they're at, because every county, every city can be different in a state for what their taxes are.
So
Other thing I just realized
Oregon?
is we just documented you wanting to commit tax fraud on this podcast.
Yeah, right.
So I'm not, but if I don't declare myself a Colorado citizen, I still technically am an Oregon resident.
Yeah. Well, you are. I mean, dude, you were just here. You've been here 4 times this year, 3 times this year.
Yeah. So, your
mail still comes to my house.
You've been here like 7 times, right?
You've still got a spot in my bed next to me.
Yeah.
Well, I still have most of my belongings are still in Oregon. My car's still there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got your MX-3 sitting out here.
Juanquero.
Yeah.
Juanquero.
That was my whole question. What your guys' thoughts were on that?
Yeah, I would.
on the
I would
car?
fucking come to Oregon,
Yeah,
buy
I'd
a car
do it.
here. I
I'd
would
do it.
license it here. I would
Through
register
Oregon.
it here.
So
Insurance here.
we're in Salem a couple weeks ago I had a doctor's appointment, and we spent the weekend up there. And we're going to have breakfast on our way out of town with Hunter and Ash and the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And we pull into Elmer's, that little cafe, little breakfast place.
Yeah.
Me, Jillian, and my mom. We get out, and across the parking lot, you know what I see? My fucking
What?
A8.
What?
Your what?
The A8, my Audi.
No
Our
way.
Audi. Yeah, my actual Audi sitting in the parking lot of the Elmer's in Salem.
How did you know it was yours? Look,
Because it's lowered on the black wheels that are spray painted. It's got a streak down the, a tear down the tint on the passenger side window.
fuck yeah, dude.
Like, I
That's
recognized
funny.
it immediately. I was like, that's my car.
Small world.
You know, that's funny. When we went to the coast for Ashley's graduation, I'm on the highway driving there, and that old blue Expedition that I had, and the reason I know it's mine is there was this giant dent in the tailgate where I backed into. I don't even remember what I backed into, but it's in this specific spot, and the corner of my bumper was folded in from hitting a post out camping, backing up into one of those like the ones that stop you from driving through a campground.
The one, yeah.
I followed it for like 35 miles on the way to the coast to Ashley's, and that was my Expedition that I owned
Damn.
8 years prior, maybe 7-8 years prior.
I see my Denali every day now.
I've seen your old Denali around.
It's covered in Oregon State stickers now.
Yeah.
It's like beavers across the windshield, and there's like 4 or 5 different ones on the back.
Oh, it's the right color for that.
It's filthy. It's filthy all the time. Like, not like driving Central Oregon roads filthy. It's like this has been out in the forest filthy.
I still want one of those Denali's that's the next body style after yours where they change the headlights.
Yeah.
Dude, I love those. They came out with this executive edition that instead of having like a bench seat and a bench seat for the third row, it's 6 captain's chairs for the 2
nice.
fronts, the 2
Yeah.
middles, and the 2 back.
I still like wish
So sick.
because I sold that thing for $5,000, and I kind of wish I would have just kept it. But
You got $5,000 for that?
yeah, you know what I paid for it from Bruce?
You didn't get it for like
$5,500.
Oh, you got a 5,500?
$5,500 from Bruce, and then I
Got most
kept
your
it
money back years later?
for like 4 years, and then sold it for $5,000. Yeah.
Bruce still has his Cadillac parked at my parents' house. It's sitting out
Really?
back. Yeah. I don't know where he's living now, if he has room for
in
his
Redmond.
cars. Oh, he's in Redmond?
Yeah.
How's he doing? You talk to him still?
Just here and there. He's doing okay. He's doing tile. He lives with, I think he lives with Stephen Piper in Redmond.
One of the best stories I remember was when him and his wife were divorcing, I think the first time, and he'd taken all of her roller derby skates and like went to different dumpsters around town and dumped them in it.
That was the second time.
That was the second time.
the first time.
Why did you
so-
go to different dumpsters?
He didn't want her ever to be able to like get them back, and then I think the court ordered him to go get them and bring them back
Yeah,
to her.
yeah,
and he
he
was
had to
fucked
go.
because he had taken them all over town.
No. What had actually happened is he had lied and said he did that.
Yeah.
But
Oh, he
he
hadn't.
hadn't actually done that. They were all in the trunk of that Cadillac.
Oh,
That's
okay.
That's at your parents' house. So, the first time, me and Mike Sharp we worked with Bruce at Ben Ceramic Tile, and it was like after work one day, and sometimes we'd go by Bruce's house, have a couple of beers, smoke a little weed at the end of the day. And he's like, "You guys coming over today?" And we're like, "Yeah." So I've got Mike Sharp in the truck with me. We drive over to his house. And we're a little late because we stopped at a store or something. We pull up and Bruce is like stomping around his fucking cul-de-sac, freaking out. Eric had left, took the kids, cleaned his fucking house out. Like, everything in the house except for the big furniture was gone. And we sat there and just got fucked up with him and watched Grandma's Boy.
Was that before he started doing the trips to doing the pipeline reading shit?
Yes, way before.
Way before that. And
I didn't know they had split up before that. So I thought the other one was the first one.
She found the Lord at that time, and Bruce was.
She was scared
at that time.
That's why she found the Lord. So I met Bruce the day before that happened, right? So Chris took me over there and introduced me to him. And you know, when Chris meets somebody, he falls in love with them, and then they're the coolest person that ever lived.
Like Blade.
So he's like, dude, you got to meet this guy, Bruce. He's so cool. And I think Chris was doing tile with you guys or something at the time. I can't remember.
Chris worked for them for like a couple of months. He actually got me that job, and then he bounced, and I worked there for like 6 years. Yeah.
So I go over there and I meet Bruce, and we're talking about Hondas and stuff and whatever. And he's like, he's telling me some stuff, like some facts about his cars that aren't true. But I knew what he was talking about, so I knew he was full of shit. So I told Chris, I was like, this guy's an idiot. He's full of shit. So the next day I go over there, and Chris calls me because his wife's car was like that gold Integra.
Yeah, the four-door.
And he's like, I need to fix this car because she left me, and I need to get rid of it before she comes back. But I can't fix it because I don't know what's wrong with it, and I don't have the money to buy a new distributor. And I'm like, dude, I can take apart a couple distributors and make one work. And we're talking, and he goes, so all that stuff I told you yesterday? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, so you know that's not true then? And I was like, yeah, I knew that wasn't true. He was just like talking shit to me for some reason. And so while I'm over there fixing his car, because he doesn't know how, at the time he didn't. He wasn't very, into that. So I take apart like 3 distributors, and I put them together, and I fix the car, and then he traded it off to Chris for that Del Sol that I just did.
The green Del Sol, yeah.
Was that the one that you ended up with?
Yeah, so I did the engine swap on that car for Chris because after Micah wrecked it, his Integra, he wanted to take the engine out of the Integra and put it in the Del Sol.
Micah,
so I do all that work for Chris.
Was that when Micah said
Chris,
somebody bashed Chris's Integra, but he had actually fucked it up?
No, so that whole event happened when me and Chris lived at Cedar West.
I remember.
Micah had borrowed the Integra for the night,
and then it broke down. And he left it, and somebody like broke the rear window and fucking.
So Micah showed up at our house at like 4 in, and everyone was too fucked up to go look for the car.
I was there with you guys. I
Really?
remember him coming back.
I just remember I remember knowing that Micah admitted to spinning out in that little like hill curve where the little reflectors are in the middle of the road there by the turnoff to China Hat.
Oh, he got stuck.
And he fucking spun out, hit all of that shit, and then went off the road, and the car wouldn't start anymore. And then he's at our house, and then the next morning we go out to get it, and the whole back hatch is like pried with a crowbar.
Okay, that's right. That's what I remember. I thought somebody had broken into it.
Yeah, somebody did break into it.
So I remember that night he didn't tell us he had wrecked it. He had just said it stopped running, and he left it there.
Well, as of the next morning, everyone knew what had happened. I gotta take a piss.
So the week before, Chris tells me, yeah, if you do the engine swap on this, you can have all the parts you need off the car because I needed the front. I wanted the front end off it so I could do that Integra front end swap.
Dude, that was sick. On that Civic where you put the fucking Integra front end on it on a hatchback. Yeah. That was dope as shit.
You know what? I'm gonna wait till Blake gets back because he's gonna probably enjoy this story.
You know what's okay? So while you're waiting, when I very first met Bruce, Blake had gotten his Xbox 360 modded, and I'm like, where did you get this done at? And so he's like, dude, my buddy Bruce brought my Xbox over there. I think I paid Bruce like $45, and I watched him do the whole process of modding my Xbox, and it took him like 15 minutes, and I'm like, this is fucking easy. Why did I just pay him to do it? I should have Googled it. And so then me and Blake started modding people's Xboxes for them like crazy. I think I put an ad on Craigslist at one point and was modding Xboxes for $50 a pop. And it was just like a piece of software you'd run. You'd pop their case open, plug a cord into their fucking DVD drive, and then Blake's I fucking fucked up somehow and bricked it. We couldn't save the firmware off of it. And I stopped modding them after that. I lost my confidence in it.
That was Steven Piper that was showing us how he was the first one that was modding those Xboxes.
So that's I don't know Steven Piper very well, but you brought me to Bruce's the very first time I met him, and Bruce modded my Xbox.
Bruce didn't. Steven Piper did.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Because I remember
Bruce didn't know
being-
how to do it. But Piper was there. So Bruce lived in that cul-de-sac?
Bruce was in Deschutes Woods when I went there for the very first time when I met Bruce.
That's right. But it still wasn't Bruce. It was either me or Steven Piper.
Oh, maybe you did it, but you did it with Bruce's computer because he had the cable and shit we needed.
He had
That's
all
right.
the attachments, because I would do it for people, and then Bruce would make me give him a cut of it because he had all the attachments and shit for the computer.
Right after that.
That's
I
not
set
my
up
story because I wanted you. I
ended
thought you
up
might
with
get a
one of
kick
your
out of
guys'
this.
fucking
So,
modded
what's that?
Xboxes.
Modded Xboxes.
Yeah, one of you guys. I don't remember. I think it was yours, James.
Yeah.
I think I ended up buying one
I
from
still
you.
have 3 in my garage.
Yeah, I have 3 busted ass ones sitting in storage
I could
right
probably
now.
piece one good one out of it.
So I do the engine swap on that Civic, that Del Sol for Chris, and I told him, I said, listen, you got to buy the right stuff for it. I said, you need a roll pin for the linkage, and you need to pull this down and weld it better. I just tacked it on there, and the exhaust is falling off. So he calls me the next day and he goes, dude, this whole thing's falling apart. You got to come fix it. The linkage is all fucked up. So I go pull the linkage off and I weld it solid. It's nice.
I
said,
remember
"You
this.
still need the
This is
roll
when
pin,
you- this is
and
when you
still
tried
need
to
do
kill
the
Chris.
exhaust. Do not drive this car."
With the
This
Joe
is when
cut
you
my
tried
brakes.
to kill Chris. I remember. This is when
So
you.
what did Chris?
This
Chris
is when you
goes and
tried.
drives the car around.
Yeah.
Then he calls everyone's like, Joe fucked up my car.
Yeah.
After I did a perfect engine swap and said, here's the things you need to get fixed. Because
Okay.
you don't have the money to do
Either
it.
this is the same one I'm thinking of, or this happened twice.
No.
But you remember when he
This
thought that
happened
Joe
twice.
was fucking Ashley?
Yes.
And said that Joe cut the brakes on his car.
It was because Chris was crazy at that time, and he said Joe tried to kill me.
Yeah.
It was when he
So-
fucking hit all those deer on the parkway or some shit,
Yeah.
and then he hit like a guardrail, and he was
So-
calling me at 3 a.m. fucked up, saying that. Yeah, I can't understand anything you say. Joe tried to kill me. Blah 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 blah.
I got that phone call too.
Yeah.
So the reason he thought I tried to kill him is because he thought I found out he was fucking Natalie. That's why he.
Oh,
that's
see,
why-
I thought he thought you were fucking Ashley Chandler.
That's
No,
how
he thought I was fucking Ashley to get back at him for fucking Natalie.
Oh, gotcha.
But anyway, so Bruce calls me. Bruce now has this Del Sol and like 2 or 3 kids, and his wife comes back with the kids. So now he's taking them to school one at a time.
I remember.
He's like, I don't remember if he pulled up with the 2 kids in there and somebody said something or he couldn't fit them or whatever it was, but he calls me. He goes, I'm going to make you this honey pot deal. He goes, I'll trade you this Del Sol. You know everything about it because you built this car. He goes, I fixed the exhaust. I fixed the shift linkage. I just put a new stereo in it. He goes, I'll trade you, and it's got new tires on it, and I'll throw in my nitrous system for your Civic hatchback with that fucked up front end on it. Because I did that in my. I have the pictures of when I did it. I did it in my driveway in the snow.
That was the
I'm like,
Integra front end, though?
Yeah.
I thought that
I
was
did that
dope. I
front
thought
end
that car was
version.
so cool looking.
Well, a lot of people did. He he drove it like that for forever. For a
And
long
then
time.
finally, he fixed it and put it back to stock.
Yeah.
And made it like right because it was a hack job. I mean, I literally did it in the snow.
Yeah.
You remember that Civic that Brian had that he made right-hand drive?
The hatch black. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's like that was a legendary car at the time.
The amount of work it takes to switch one from left to right-hand.
No,
drive.
Bruce took I think you're mashing up 2 cars. So
Yeah,
Brian
he
had
had
the
the
black
black hatch.
hatchback.
Well, he bought it from Bruce. Bruce is the one
had
that
a
actually...
white Integra that he did a right-hand drive swap on. Full right-hand drive swap. Ordered everything from...
Didn't Brian Wolf end up with that car, though?
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
right-hand drive car. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Brian
yeah.
bought
Okay,
the
that's
white
what it was.
car from him after he had done everything.
I drove
Yeah.
that black one. That thing was crazy.
The hatch black was like
Yeah.
sick though. That was the fastest Honda in Central Oregon for a while.
Do you remember when Cater had that red Civic and him and Jason got nailed speed racing or street racing while we were on our way back from the coast?
My brother was with you guys.
Yeah, Brandon came with us. That's right. Jason, Cater, Chrissy was there, and Adam. And Chrissy was trying to fuck Cater the whole time, even though her husband was there with her. But yeah, they decided to race in front of us, and they come around a corner, and they're taking up both lanes of the highway. And the sheriff comes around the corner in an SUV, and Cater almost fucking head-ons him and swerves behind Jason to get out of the way. and he just slides sideways, and we see the reflection of Sheriff on the side of his shit as he takes off after him. And we get up to it's like 3 or 4 miles go by. We can't catch up to him, and we just see smoke off this fucking turnoff and like burn out like marks on the street from rubber. And so we start going down that way. We're just creeping, like trying to see where the fuck they went because there's no more smoke. There's no trace of where they went. And Jason and Cater both come running out of this bush, waving at us at a school. And they had driven their cars through this giant hedge of bushes to hide from this fucking sheriff. And Cater had jumped his car getting around that corner off the fucking ground where when it hit, the whole entire exhaust had fallen and it was dragging the muffler with it. And he was so scared he was going to go to jail. He's like, you have to fucking drive my car back to Bend. And we're in like, I don't know, Corvallis at this point. And so I'm
basically
driving.
He's like, that way if they think anybody was driving, they think it's you.
Well,
You go to jail.
I had a perfect driving record, so at most I'm going to get a fucking ticket, right?
Uh-huh.
But Cater was like, I have a warrant out for my arrest.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to jail if
Yeah.
they pick me up. And so I'm driving this Civic back with dragging the fucking muffler. We couldn't get it to tie up for some reason. We had nothing to tie it up. And sparks were just flying out of the back of the car the whole way back until we finally lost the muffler at some point. It caught an edge in the road and just ripped off, and we left it.
So the first time I ever met Cater, me and Brandon and Nate lived in that A-frame and out here.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
I'm home by myself. It's like a Friday or something. I was off work, and I'm sitting on the front porch, and I was drinking a Coors Light. And this fucking red Honda just, like, I hear it from way down the street. Wah! And then it turns onto our road, like the dirt road. Hauls ass, gets in the driveway, and this guy, who I've never seen before in my life, yells out the window, "You didn't see me!" and pulls behind our house. And the car parks. And I'm still sitting there drinking a beer, and here comes a sheriff's car up the dirt road, and it pulls into the end of my driveway, and this guy gets out of the car. And there's dust everywhere. Like, the entire road is just dusty. The driveway's dusty, and he goes, Did you see a little car come through here?" He didn't say, like, what it was or anything, and I was just, like, shaking my head, like, no.
There's dust everywhere.
There's dust everywhere.
He's like, this guy's either retarded or...
Yeah, and he just stands there and looks at me. And he's like, "Do you live here?" And I said, "Yeah." And then he gets in his car and he's just sitting there on his fucking CB forever. And then he leaves, right? And like, I still haven't moved from the front porch. And a few minutes later, this guy comes through my house and comes out the front door and sits down next to me. And he's like, "Hey, Cater, I'm a friend of Nate's. I'm going to go to jail if the cops see me, so is it cool if I just hang out here for a while?" And I was like, "I guess." And then like, anyway, that was the first time I met him. And then like after that, I went out to our shed one day and I was like smoking a cigarette and I opened it. There's just like Honda parts all like hung up on hooks and shit. And I'm like, the fuck? Turns out my brother and them had this whole like crazy operation going. I don't know. Statute of limitations is probably good now. But they were driving to fucking Brad's U-Pull-It in Redmond in the middle of the night and just taking tons of shit and bringing it back to our house and storing it in my shed behind the house. And then, like, I didn't know anything about this. And then they're selling it. And, oh, God, they had a whole
Nate
operation.
got in trouble at one point. He jacked a fucking S2000, stripped it in that Tombstone house, and then shoved it like a block
that was
away.
a Civic Si.
Yeah, it was an SI.
Oh, it was an
He
SI?
pushed it
Yeah,
into the
just-
middle of the intersection at fucking Neff.
You know how he got caught?
Huh.
So
The seats.
The guy that was like, what's that?
The seats.
Somebody saw it, and so the kid goes, "Listen, I think that's my car."
Yeah.
And there's two ways you can tell. I just bought a brand new wheel like a couple weeks ago, so one is shiny and brand new, and the
Oh,
rest
that's
are
right,
all
it was the
weathered.
wheels.
He goes, and on the driver's seat, I dropped the cigarette one day and burned a hole. So if I sit in the seat right between my legs, there's a hole. So they go, and the kid's like, the seats are in the garage. He's cop's like, "Okay, sit in the seat," and he looks down. And he's like, "Oh yeah, there's the hole you said."
Oh, shit.
Yeah, dude. That was fucking...
That's because the first time I met Cater, I was at some party with Joe, and I think Chris was out there too, and Cater was getting in a fight with somebody. Or maybe it was two other people were fighting because Cater, like...
He was the sucker punch
He
king.
sucker punched like a motherfucker. But he hit this kid so hard that it made my knees tremble because the crack that it made when he connected with his fucking head would just like made you
I
weak.
haven't seen
like,
him in fucking years.
That was the very first night I met him, and I was like, "Man, that kid can punch like a motherfucker." But that was a bitch ass hit. He like hit the guy from behind.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a long time.
Yeah, I remember him and Ryan used to hang out a lot. I met both of them through Joe. There was a bunch of girls that used to hang out with him all the time and come over to Jeff and Rusty's too. A bunch of cute little girls.
Yes,
Like
you know
their
who
titties.
Cater's dating now, right?
Yeah, Brittany Swearingen.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Wait a minute. Is he back here,
No,
or is she
he's
over
still
there?
in Portland and she's still here.
Oh, huh. Interesting.
How did he spell his name? Is it K?
Kedor.
Dor. Well,
Yeah,
guys,
Russell,
I
look.
love talking to you, but it is 9 o'clock here almost.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
And, I'm stoked.
You guys ready to wrap up?
Yeah,
huh?
yeah, let's do
Yeah,
it.
it's probably about time.
All right, I want some dinner anyway. Love you, Joseph.
Joseph,
Love you guys. Take care of yourself.
We out.
Have a sparkling day.
Later, guys. Bye, everybody.